Good morning, students. Happy rainy day. Due to rain and due to power supply problem, we are late from 8 a.m. It is 10:10. So due to insufficient power supply, we cannot start that class. And now we are going to start our class today. Okay. Now, friends, till yesterday, what we have seen the introduction to accounting. Now today the topic which we are going to learn is a glossary or a type of terminology. Means today onwards, now your classes are actually starting. All this was introduction. Now today we are going to see the terminology, the word meanings of the different accounting terms. So let us directly start with the class. Now from today, the topics which we are taking, now you need to write in your book. I will guide you how to write. Now in our textbook, the terminology of accounting is given on page number 10. It is possible that many of you are not having the books. Then don't worry, I will send. We are starting terminology of accounting. Okay. Now on page number 10, first word is given. There are total 46 words, and all the 46 words are important to cope up with the next chapter. So it is very important topic. So please, friends, listen it clearly. Now the first one is business transaction. Now see, friends, I will read the whole thing which is given in the textbook because it is very important. There are examples to learn, but what we need to write is not the whole thing. I will say how to write it. Okay, business transaction. Now business transaction means exchange of what? Of product or service of business between two or more persons in the form of cash and or told on the first day that whether the transaction can be in cash or credit means udhar. Business transaction means an act of business. Business transaction is always economic transaction. Economic means which can be shown of money is known as transaction. Economic transaction, now they are giving that thing also. Economic transaction means a transaction which can be measured in the terms of money. Cash transaction made in form of money clearly depicts economic value. Due to credit transaction are receivable in future, but its economic value is determined in present. Now what they are telling, your transaction should be economic. Economic means in the terms of money. Now there are two terms. Whether you are paying the cash today or you are paying the cash in future, that does not mean anything. When you are paying the cash now itself, then that is a cash transaction, and if you are paying the cash in future, that is a credit transaction, but its value will be assigned today itself. They are saying. The prerequisite means the condition of business transaction is to have its economic, that is financial value. Business transaction come into existence through medium of cash or credit. How a business transaction come into existence? Whether you are paying the cash today or you are paying the cash in future. Okay, it is not necessary the cash now itself. You are paying now or you are paying in the future. Anything can be possible. Now example is given. We don't need to write the example, and how much we need to write I will underline and I will send the photos in the group so that it will be easy for you to write in your notebooks. Now we will understand this thing by an example. Cash transaction. First the example is given of cash transaction. Goods of rupees 5,000 sold to Rajnikant for cash. What the transaction is given? Goods of rupees, any type of good, any type of sold to a person for cash. Now how to explain this thing? Please listen carefully. This is an act of business. Cash is received How can we say that cash is received? Because in the transaction only it is written goods of rupees 5,000 sold to Rajnikant for cash. It is clearly given that Rajnikant has paid the cash. Now you all may be thinking how we will get this thing, so I will make this thing clear. Every time in the question the things will be clear, which will help you to learn easily. Okay, now see what they are writing in the thing. In the detail they have given the transaction meaning. Rajnikant is a person, is a separate person. Goods is a product. Rupees 5,000 is the economic value which is received on the spot. Money is exchanged against the good. All the conditions of business transactions are fulfilled. Means we are selling goods to a person, goods or service. Cash is actually received, or sometimes the cash cannot be received, so that will be a credit transaction and money is exchanged. Now credit transaction. Goods of rupees 5,000 sold on credit to Rajnikant with the condition to pay the amount in 10 days. See, the difference between the first transaction and second transaction is that in the first transaction the person named Rajnikant is paying the cash immediately, whereas in the next transaction, in the credit transaction, it is written a condition that goods of 5,000 is sold, means it has an economic value, but he is paying the cash in future, not today, within a limit of 10 days. Yes. Now goods are sold on credit, money of which is receivable within 10 days. This is a credit transaction where is a separate person, goods is a product, 5,000 is an economic value after 10 days, money will be received, that is a guarantee. In short, what we need to say is that transaction means, what does a transaction mean? Which has an exchange of goods or service. It may be goods or may be service, and which can be ascertained in the form of money, or through which financial transactions are done. Okay, so that is about a transaction, business transaction. The first word is over. Now we are going for a second word, event. The word number 2 is event. Normally event is a different thing, but here in accounting terms event is different, so everyone must clear that thing, that this event is not something, an event which we are organizing. In accounting, event means a different thing. Now I am going to read it. Event is recognized as an incidence. Now event means, they are writing the exact meaning. Event means a situation or result created from transaction. Situation or result. Now we can think, if a business transaction occurs, then what is the situation or what is the result? Suppose you are purchasing a goods of rupees 10,000. You are selling the same goods for rupees 12,000. So 2,000 is your profit, or if you are purchasing for 10,000 and you are selling for 7,000, 3,000 is your loss. So this may be an event. We will see what is given in the book. Transaction has its own explicit features which are studied as above. Now they are giving an example. Assume that goods are sold for 3,000, wage, some of the extra charges are paid 500, and event can be presented as follows. See, the sales is rupees of 5,000, purchase value is 3,000 plus 500, so 3,500. 1,500 is the profit. So event is nothing but the result. What you are getting from your transaction. It may be possible you have purchased for 5,000, you are selling for 5,000, then no profit, no loss. If your purchasing value is less than the sales value, then you are having profit, and opposite to it you are having a loss. Means in short we can say that event is dependent on the business transaction. उसके लिए पहले transaction होना चाहिए तो event हो सकता है. Okay. So this was about second word. Now we are going for third word, that is capital, and again is a new thing for you. Okay. An investment made by the owner to commence means to start, to commence the business is known as a capital. Capital, it is an investment. जो आप अपने बिजनेस में इन्वेस्ट करते हो, और वो इन्वेस्टमेंट कौन करता है? दे आर राइटिंग क्लियरली, एन इन्वेस्टमेंट मेड बाय द ओनर to commence the business, to start the business is known as a capital. Now what they are writing for that thing? Investment in business can be in which form? Can be done in cash or any other form of asset. Now you may not be knowing what is asset, so no problem. Understand only thing, you are starting a business cash or through anything. Suppose for starting a business only cash is not important. You need shop, you need building, you need machines. So all such things are asset only, but we will know what is actually the asset. So you keep the point for that time. All those items are included in capital, which is provided by owners, and their value is measurable in terms of money. Now this is very good. Asset you may be knowing or maybe not knowing, but you will know in the next word here only, here itself in this chapter. But the thing to know is that investment should be made by owners, not means the person who is running the business, it is necessary to bring some things to the business, and that thing is known as capital. Okay. Example, to commence the business, owner has brought 10,000 cash. See, they are writing again what I have given an example. Furniture of 6,000, goods of 8,000. Here the capital of the owner will be 24,000. How 24,000? 10,000 plus 6,000. So 16 plus 8 is 24,000. So total capital is 24,000. Items provided by the owner, each of the item has monetary value. Okay, it is also important that the items which you are bringing in the business should have some value in terms of money and will be used for business. Owner gives the money to commence the business as well as to expand the business. Capital is identified on basis of nature of business, which are as follows. Okay, how many types of business are there? There they are writing. For sole proprietorship capital, word is used which owner provides. Okay, sole proprietor, sole means single. Everyone must note that here the word is written sole proprietor. So when there is a single owner and the investment is made, is known as a capital. For partners, partner means more than one owner. Partners capital word is used, and for company share capital words is used. Now how it is used, why it is used, we will learn in some next chapter, but for instance, for this chapter, what you have to think is that capital means nothing but the things to start the business and which has monetary value. Okay, suppose you are starting a shop, then you are having that shop, you are having furniture, you are having cash, everything is capital for you. Okay, now number 4 is drawings. It is given on page number 12. Now friends, again I need to say is that all these are accounting words, so don't take the literal meaning. In literal meaning, drawings means what you are doing, drawings and arts, and this is not that thing. In short, if we need to understand, then drawings means opposite of capital. What I mean to say is that drawing is opposite of capital. Capital means to bring in the business, and drawings means to take out from the business. For creation of capital, the business provide his personal property to the business, as we have discussed earlier. The owner brings some things to start the business, then it is as a capital. Assets means they are written in the bracket properties given by the owners becomes assets of the business. When owner of the business withdraws assets from the business, means cash or goods for personal purpose, it is known as drawings. Drawings indicates capital reduction. So I was telling that drawings are opposite of capital. If you want to increase the capital, suppose in the previous example, in the third word we were seeing 10,000 plus 6,000 plus 8,000, 24,000. Now if you are withdrawing, if you are taking out the cash from the business, then your capital will reduce, and that reduction of capital is known as drawings. So drawings means nothing to withdraw from the business. Capital means to add something to the business which has monetary value. Instead of deducting it directly from the capital, it is separately shown as drawings. Means they are telling that you have to separately show how much amount you are withdrawing from the business. And after that box they are writing generally drawing words whole progressive part. So discussed till now 4 words. Which are they? Business transaction, event, capital, and last is drawings. Transaction means an exchange of goods or services which has monetary value. Event means a result from the transaction, from the exchange. Capital means to invest in the business, means to take from words which we learned. Now moving on for the next word number 5, that is liability, and word number 6 and 7 are subtypes of liabilities. C and figure is also given. Okay, now what do you mean by liability? In short, if we need to say that liability means what we want to give. What I mean to say, liability means what we need to give. Amount payable, see they are writing amount payable, to give means to pay. Amount payable by the business for credit purchase of goods or asset, or the amount payable for borrowed money is known as liability. If you want to understand it simply, take the previous example. We have sold the goods to Rajnikant for cash, then there is no liability. If he is paying the cash, then there is no liability. But if he is not paying the cash now and he is paying the cash in future, then again that thing will become liability for them. Means he have to pay to us. जिसको पे करना है उसके लिए liability कही जाएगी, उसके लिए liability create हुई, हम ऐसा कह सकते हैं. So in short, everyone must understand that liability means what we need to pay in future. Amount payable in future is known as liability. In simple terms, we can say. Now there are different types of liabilities, and flowchart is given. You need also to draw that flowchart in your notebooks. Okay. Now liability has 2 types on the basis of relation: internal liability, external liability. On the basis of time, again both has two types: current and non-current. Okay. Now we are looking 6th number, internal liability and external liability. Liability means to pay in future. Now we are taking on the base internal and the external liability. Now if we are not reading, internal means within the business and external means outside the business. Internal means what we have to pay within our business, no outside persons, and external means we have to pay outside persons. Okay, I am reading it. In accounting, business owner are treated as separate entity. When the owner of business is providing capital to the business, it becomes internal liability. It is the liability of the business towards the owner. Now see, they are telling a very important thing. Suppose I am the owner of a shop, then the name of the shop, suppose the name of the shop is XYZ and my name is A. Then XYZ's owner is A, but A is different and that shop is also different. Now you all may be thinking why. The reason is that XYZ shop is started by whom? Started by me. My name is A. Now Mr. A is providing my cash, my furniture, my everything. So I am giving to the business. So now only we have seen that what you have to give in future is known as your liability. So business also will give me something in the future. What business will give? Business will give me profits. But business is not giving means internal liability means between owner and the business, that is internal liability. Okay. Now the second paragraph, the amount payable by the business to the third party for the credit purchase or money borrowed outside the business is known as a external liability. So in short, what we learned, liabilities of internal and external liability. Internal means within the business, between the owner and business, and external liability means between the business and the third party. Okay. Now, current liability and non-current liability. Now see, current affairs, we are familiar with the word current affairs. Current means abhika, what is now, what is in present. So in the same way, current and non-current liability means, current means in the this year and non-current means of previous years. Okay. Now, as stated earlier, internal and external liability is determined on the basis of relation of the business with other person, while current and non-current liability is determined on the basis of time. What I have said now. A liability which is to be paid within 1 year is known as current liability. Current liability is also known as short-term liability. Generally in short-term liability, what is included we don't need to say, that you ignore. Only you have to remember that what you have to pay in this year itself. At the previous lecture I told you that our business year starts from 1st April and it ends on 31st March. So within this time what we have to pay is our current liability, and for next year what we have to pay is our non-current liability. See in next paragraph very clearly. A liability which is to be paid during the period more than 1 year is known as non-current liability. So friends, that's all with the words. We have learned 7 terminologies today. Now that is very enough thing for today. Now again I will give the summary of each and every word. The first word was business transaction. Now what we will remember for that, business transaction is exchange of goods and services which has a monetary value. So that is about business transaction, we are exchanging the goods. Now the second word, event. Event means the result obtained from transaction. When we are exchanging the goods, when we are exchanging our services, we are getting or we are losing. Now the gain or the loss is known as event. Now the third word was capital and the fourth was drawings. Opposite. When we are taking our things to the business, that is our capital. We are investing in the business. And when we are taking that investment again to us, then that is a drawings. Okay. Now fifth word was liability. Liability means what amount we have to payable in future, amount payable in future, that is a liability. And again in the sixth and seventh word, types are explained. In the sixth word they are telling internal and external. Internal liability means within the business, owner and business. What you will remember, owner and business. And external liability means outside the business, means business and third party. Okay. Now seventh word was current and non-current liability. Current means within this year and non-current means more than 1 year. So the amount is more than 1 year. Okay. So that's all with the words. I will send in the group the which you have to note down in the notebook, and you all will send by writing in your notes. Okay. So that's all for. Thank you.